Virgin Most Powerful Radio is pleased to present Church of the Masses.
Hello again, welcome back. And so we're celebrating Unplanned's release on DVD, and I'm very happy to have one of the actors from Unplanned with us, Robia Scott. Hi, Robia, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Well, thanks for having me on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you. Chuck and Carrie, I wrote them and I said, yeah, how can we celebrate this? And I said, can we get one of the actors? And they're like, yeah, we'll get Robia for you. So I'm really happy to have you. So welcome to our station. And so, yeah, my gosh, I'm sitting here looking at Box Office Mojo, and, the movie's at $18,988,000 domestic. And foreign, we're never sure what that's going to be because it's such kind of an interesting tangled web there. But that's quite incredible. Robia, when you got involved in this, did you ever think it was going to become what it became?
I did actually. I did. I had been retired from the entertainment industry for about 15 years. I started as a teenager, and I traveled the world. I danced with Prince. I was on different TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I became a Christian and totally walked away from Hollywood and have been in ministry ever since. No intention of going back to Hollywood. And then this movie came around. I was randomly introduced to Chuck and Carrie, the writers, directors, and they asked me to audition. And, I saw the script and I just knew. I knew it was for such a time as this story. I felt that God told me, he prepared me for such a time as this. And I think most of us, when we were on set, we knew we were doing something bigger than ourselves. And we were excited to see how God was going to use the film to shift culture. And what's so interesting, Barbara, is that when we were filming this, a year or so ago, none of what is happening now in our society was happening then.
Yeah.
The bill in New York hadn't passed. Abortion was not where it is now as this topic that is just on the forefront. I mean, God has his hand on this topic. So, I did expect it to do incredible. And I think really we're just getting started. Wow. I think the DVD today is going to bring a whole nother wave. And as you stated, we're going international. So I think it's just the beginning, actually.
Yeah. It's such a, I gave notes on the screenplay, again, more than a year ago. And I remember thinking, imagine if this could take hold, and here it is. It became it's really a movie to movement kind of thing. So now you play in the movie the face of Planned Parenthood, right? You play that's a tough character to play, and yet yet you made her understandable. And I know that that's important for Abby. Abby's whole ministry is to not demonize people that are in the abortion movement, to try to reach out to them and find a way to help them see what they're doing in a different light. And so I think your character never descended into some kind of demonic. We can't relate to this person. I think you kept her very relatable. So good chops to you. But how did you kind of get into playing that kind of mindset? How did you prepare for that?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I love that about the movie. I think that they showed some pro-life people as a little bit radical and, not a great representation of what pro-life really is. And I think they showed, some pro-choice workers in the abortion clinic as really wonderful people. So I think they ran the gamut with all the personas. I mean, mine was definitely my character, the head of Planned Parenthood, was a little stronger than everyone else on screen. I was a bit hesitant at first to play that character because, all the time I was in Hollywood, I was not a believer. And now here I am, brought back by God and thinking, oh, great, I'm going to play some beautiful preacher character that's praying all the time. And I read Cheryl and I think, oh, goodness, really? This is what I have to do?
But thank God, God prepared you with all your experience so that he could bring in, because in the wrong hands, it would have felt very artificial, I think, that character. And I think you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted to make her, real and just very driven, very driven with the same passion that I do women's ministry. I kind of tapped into that passion for her stance on women's rights and, and really drove that. And I just played her as she was really written that way, very direct, very business-minded, not as emotional and compassionate as I am personally. So I really kind of tried to turn down the compassion, and I turned up the passion, and that's what you saw on screen.
Great. So give me, one story from these last few months that just sticks out in your mind, as this movie's kind of took hold, became a movement, anything kind of stand out for you, somebody you met, anything you heard that is going to crystallize this summer for you, the summer of that Unplanned kind of just like splashed onto the landscape?
Oh my goodness. There really are so many stories. We all have been touched by people's responses. I would say hearing that pro-choice people that were adamant pro-choice that went into the movie, that the movie challenged them. And, maybe they didn't jump ship to the pro-life side completely, but they were challenged enough that they're going to start researching. That has been really powerful. And for me personally, at churches where I've been speaking, I have had encounters with women that have approached me and said, I'm pregnant right now. This is my situation. I was really planning on going to have an abortion. And now that I've heard you speak and I've seen some clips of the movie, this was before the movie even came out. They made the decision not to go through with it. And we've had countless stories of women who have seen the movie and have chosen not to go through with abortion. And then women who have had abortion in the past receive a lot of healing and be able to really let go of the shame and to grab onto the redemptive, quality of God and move forward because of the movie. So that's been extraordinary.
Wow. And so now we're in this, really kind of encouraging people to buy the movie, this amazing kind of brilliant affiliate plan to help pro-life ministries, especially, but churches, other ministries to, promote the movie and then get a share of the revenue from the sales. What would you say is like how to invite somebody if in your life, if somebody's out there, they have somebody in their life who's pro-choice, how would you kind of invite them to sit down and watch Unplanned?
Well, my take is that regardless of what you believe, if you're adamant that you're pro-choice, that's okay. Great. Let's watch this movie. It really reflects both sides. It reflects the pro-choice side, the pro-life side, and then let's have a discussion about it. I want to hear your point of view. You can hear my point of view. I just, this is a true story, and it's a powerful story. It's an emotional story. It's an engaging story. And, I'd like to watch it with you. I really do think this is the time where, for all of us as believers, as, those that are church leaders, to get on board with the DVD, because so many people still have not seen the movie or encountered the movie. So I think it's just a great opportunity now for, as I said, the next wave of America to be turned on to this story.
Yeah, so what would we hope for here? Like every church holding screenings, like we're having our Unplanned screening and discussion, and we're going to do it a couple times, different times in case people miss it. That would be one thing that we could hope for to happen here. Definitely, it seems to me, the Christian schools. Now, one of the issues is I had this in the school where I teach. It's like, well, it's R-rated. We don't show R-rated movies. I was like, well, we showed The Passion of the Christ. And it's like, well, that one's different. And it's like, why is it different, right? I want to know. But, I told them the passion of the violence in The Passion of the Christ far exceeds anything that is going to be in this movie. But, so that R rating, it's interesting. I remember when we found out that we got it, I had told them when I read the script, they're going to give you an R rating, and they're like, no, they won't. And then we did, they got it. And but it's been a kind of a mixed blessing for the film, hasn't it? Because it allowed a PR rollout that, they were able to talk about the movie in terms of the R rating that had been given.
True. It's like the scripture, what the enemy means for harm, God will use for good.
Will use for good, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
the enemy has tried to block this movie at every turn, but yes, we in some ways we shouldn't have gotten an R rating because there's 4 criteria for R's. It's sexuality, nudity, foul language, and violence. And we don't have sexuality, nudity, or foul language. But the Motion Picture Association did deem some of the scenes as extreme violence. And this is where I would just want people to be educated. I want parents to be educated, church leaders to be educated, because this is not your typical R-rated movie. This isn't the kind of imagery on screen that we want to protect our kids from, that we want to protect our own soul and spirit from. This is truth on the screen that you need to see.
Very good.
Just like the Passion.
Yeah.
Like the Passion.
There's nothing gratuitous
when you see it with
here.
your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the story. You know the story of Christ. But when you see it, it just impacts you in a whole nother way. And it's the same thing with this story. A lot of us are familiar with abortion now because it's on the forefront topic in America.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But when the veil is lifted into the clinic and you see some of the things that are going on, you will not be the same. So, a challenge out for everybody. Don't let the R rating stop you. Right. Parents, watch it first. Church leaders, watch it first. And you'll see what we're talking about.
Very good. So youth groups, definitely universities. I'm going to be pushing this at
Virgin Most Powerful Radio, sharing the gospel with clarity and charity.